Hello fashion lovers, welcome to my channel. Okay, today we'll be cutting this beautiful gown. All right, yes, this beautiful gown. Okay, so as usual, I know you need your shoulder, bust, waist and all the rest of them. You can pause the video, all right, to go through my calculation. Now I'll be using a princess dart. That will be that I'll be using for the front. The back can go with waist dart. Okay, now the down part of this gown is a Caribbean. All right, you know that is Caribbean skirt or Caribbean gown pattern. The gathers at the waist, you know, but it's Caribbean pattern. All right, so let's move to the cutting. Now my highest calculation is what I folded into. This is 13, okay, and my highest calculation is 12. All right, as usual guys, you know the beginning, the first thing to mark is your shoulder. Okay, so I've marked my shoulder, my bust, my armhole, all right, and my half length. You know, so you have to cut the upper part of it before the down part. Okay, so basically the upper part is what we are cutting. So we roll it out. Okay, now my shoulder, I will equally connect it. Then we'll go for the curving. You can see the basic line is ready. Now what next is to mark our bust measurement. Okay, that is my bust 12. The next is my waist, which is 10, marked, then connect. Good. Having done that, I'll curve my armhole. That is my armhole. Now, having marked my armhole, the next thing is my nipple to nipple. Okay. First, I need to determine my bust point. Bust point 10. Connect. Alright. Now, after marking my bust point, the next thing is my nipple to nipple. But first, let's give it a name, you know, so we'll know the lines, what they are for. My nipple to nipple, I'm going for 4.5. All right, I'm going for 4.5 for my nipple to nipple. That is what I marked now. Then you connect. Basically, it's princess dart. You all know how to do princess dart, okay? The next thing is our waist. You already know how we mark our waist dart. Half inches by the side. Then you connect it. Once you get this point, the next thing is our connectivity, you know, using the French curve to connect our armhole dart to the waistline, waist dart. You know, princess dart is combination of armhole dart and waist dart. Okay, so our princess dart is ready. Now what next? Our neck width, that V at the front. Now I'm going for 3.5 for my neck width. Then I'll slant by one shoulder. Now if you watch this V, it is a deep V, you know, it stopped at the half length, it stopped at the tummy, stopped at the natural waist. All right, now because it's a deep V, you cannot have a wide neck width. Have that in mind. Because it's a deep V, you cannot go for wide neckline, so the dress will not be going off. Okay, now having done that, you get your long row. Having indicated your neck width, which is 3.5. Okay, you get your rule, connect it down to the half length. you're connecting it down to the half length. Okay, now for this dress you can finish it with lining, facing, bias, any way you wish to finish it, it will go. All right, so you connect. Now looking at this V, the nipple will definitely cover. Why? Because you can see my nipple to nipple is far from the neck with the deep V. So definitely it will cover up, but definitely some parts will be showing. Okay, so with this we are good to go. The next is to pin and cut. Now this dress has back. The back of this dress is our normal high back, with zip at the back. Not much details at the back. It's just our normal high back with waist dart. Okay, so after this we'll just go through how the back will look, how to cut the back briefly. All right, so I'm cutting right now. That is my deep V. First we need pin to pin it up. Slanting my shoulder first, then my neckline. You can see my cutting down to the half length. Yes, down to the half length. Then you cut through your princess dart. Okay, now why this princess dart will be the best for this pattern is because princess dart gives more fitting. Waist dart gives fitting, but princess dart gives more fitting. It projects the bust. It gives the bust that projection. It fits in more. It creates space for the bust. And especially going for a deep V, you need your bust to have a space for it. That is why it is the best dart to go for this kind of deep V. Then I'll need to tape, hold what we just cut right now. Use tape and hold it down and place it for you to see how it will look, including the bias, the rope that is attached at the center. You can see how it looks with the rope. All right, so this is how it will look after sewing. And how do you finish it? You can finish with lining, facing, whichever one. All right, it will still come out good, whichever one you decide. You can even go with bias. It all boils down to whatever you want, you do. But this is how you go for the cutting. Okay, now let's just run a quick curtain for the back. All right, how the back, like I said earlier, the back, it is half length, high neck, natural waist dart, nothing much. Okay, so the same length with your front. Your back will be the same length with your front. Okay, now what I'm marking out first is zip allowance. The back has zip. So any dress that has zip, you make provision for zip allowance. So that is the first thing I'm doing right now, is making provision for zip allowance. All right, so I'll connect it, roll it out. Having done that, the next is my shoulder. shoulder 8, the same shoulder with the back, the front, sorry, the same shoulder with the front. Then my armhole depth. Then the remaining one is my waist. Okay, remember your back length. If your length in the front is 17, your back should equally be 17. All right, so I'm just doing a quick video for the back to show you, no much details. Now the same, I'll mark my bust measurement, mark my waist, connect it. Then for the back, I'll be going with neck width 2, sorry, neck width 3.5, the same with the back. So I just connected. All right, just connected my waist. Next thing, my neck width is 3.5, neck depth 2, then I'll curve it. All right, yes, that is it. The next is to curve my armhole, slant the armhole even. Then let me hold this down before pin the paper together. Now this back, remember we fold by 2. When I was cutting the front, I folded into 2. Cutting the back too, you equally fold into 2. All right, so for my slanting, the same shoulder slant 1 inches, no difference. All right, now remember, neck width of my neck width in the front is the same with the back, but the depth differs. Neck width in all dresses are even, the depth differs. So I've curved my armhole. Okay, then the next thing is to cut. So that is my back. All right, now while I cut, let me explain the down part of this dress. The down part of this dress, this is gathers. All right, but this is Caribbean gown. All right, now the first one, you cut it gathers. Then the second one, let's say the first one that attached to the waist is in total maybe 100. All right, now for you to sew the second one that is attached to the one in the waist, you have to double it. Okay, because you equally sew gathers on it. All right, so that is it. Now first, the sleeve. Basically in this video, we'll be treating the front, the back, and the sleeve. Right now is the sleeve that I'm cutting. Now I did 10 by 10. All right, because it is puff sleeve, and you can see it is well gathered, well, like you can see that. So I'm going for 10 by 10. Then I'll take my tape and measure out 4.5, slant it. Okay, then next thing, I'll curve. Start from the upper part, slant. All right, join back. Oh, good. So next thing, I'll slant down, basically my roundness of sleeve. Then I will cut. Now for this sleeve, all right, this puff sleeve, we are going for slash and spread pattern. So we are using slash and spread for the puff sleeve. You can see it is gathered at the shoulder and below. All right, now below you can use elastic to do that, or band. So after cutting, then we go for the slash and spread. what is slash and spread, where you cut and you open it up, give it space. Though I'll do it right now for you to see. Basically, this is our basic neck, our basic sleeve, the way you cut sleeve. Once you have that, the next thing you start cutting. Like for me, I'm going for 2 inches. Yours can be shorter or longer, whichever way. Though I'm going for 2 inches, I'll use rule and mark it down so that I'll know where to cut through. All right. Good. I'm done marking it down. Now, at this rate, you can label it, give it number 1, 2, 3, so you know which is which. But for me, it's easy for me to understand, so I don't need to give it number. But you can, write it 1, 2, 3, 4, so you know which is which. All right. But the way it is, I'll just shift it out the way it is right now. Now I've gotten another paper. All right. Now this paper is folded into two. It is folded into two. What next? I'll start placing them one after the other. I will start placing them. I have to use tape, hold it down so it doesn't move. Now the distance between one of your slash sleeve and the next is matter of choice. But for this video, I'm going for 1.5. What I mean matter of choice, like it depends on the gathers, the folding, okay? It depends on the gathers, the folding. But because of the gathers, so I'm going for 1.5. You can go for 2, you can go for 1. But for me, I'm okay with 1.5. All right. And the next is to hold it down, tape it. Watch my placing. I will equally hold the upper part so it doesn't move. Now the next is the third one. All right. I'll give it space. Give it space and let it not be even with the second one you've played. Like each one should come below the other, not even, not they shouldn't be the same at the top. Rather concentrate on it being the same at the down. All right. That is it. Now on the fourth one, you can see I will equally give it space, then use tape to hold it down. Now what we are basically doing is drafting out another sleeve. All right, we use basic sleeve to draft out puff sleeve. You can see the rate of gathers, the way it is gathered. That is what we are basically doing. All right. Now all the space in between the slashed paper, okay, it is provision for the gathers at the shoulder and at the down. Have that in mind, that space is the gathers, because there is gathers at the down and there is gathers at the up. That is why we cut through and we are creating space for it this way. So this is it. All right, what next is for us to cut. Just follow the line and cut. You will say, one sleeve it is this wide. Yes, by the time you gather it, bring it together, it will be the same. So you just cut it, follow. You can use a chalk or something, or pencil, pen, marker to follow, connect it first before cutting. But because I can trace it out, that is why I'm cutting through. So this is it. You can see